Привет. Поиграем в падение Авалона. Наконец-то в нормальную игру. С нормальной музыкой, с нормальным сеттингом. Если кошка нам позволит. Должна позволить. Мне сегодня играбельный день. День игр. Я уже даже опять поспал, вздремнул. Хотя опять немножко поиграл в Ханкай. Ну, теперь Ханкай отправился в корзину. И я могу спокойно насладиться нормальными играми. Наконец-то дойду, может, до города. Ну вот, кошечка там навывает. Ой, господи, сейчас. Итак. На чем мы остановились? Мы нашли друида на берегу, мы обошли город. Нас тут быть было не должно, но мы сюда пришли. Наверное, на шторки прикрыть, уже темнеет, но тем не менее отсвечивает. Да, играть нужно в игры, которые нравятся. Не нужно себя мучить, истязать. Тем более сейчас таких навалом. А я могу в твоей кроватке поспать? У тебя ничего нет? Это я прочитал. А давайте переведем, что там написано вообще. Если верить легендам, шалфей почитался как мистическое растение, посвященное богам. Еще до прихода короля Артура на Авалон. Говорят, что сама Всемать, увидев трудности и опасности, с которыми пришлось столкнуться ее детям на Авалоне, прошла через весь остров, сажая шалфей с лунным светом, как ее единственным спутником. Вот почему его листья имеют серебристый оттенок, так как они захватили святой цвет, сиявший на них всю ночь. Ладно, это очень красивая история, но она толком не имеет, это, как сказать, к игре отношения. Художественное повествование. Там есть какой-то... Блин, ну я же не могу не доплыть до того острова. Ёлы-палы, вон видите, какой остров в Нижнем Левом могу? Я хочу туда попасть. Я буду плыть до границ земель. Надеюсь, меня никакие рыбы не съедят. Я сомневаюсь, что на данный момент есть какое-то наполнение под водой, потому что все-таки это версия 0.5 игры. Но мне кажется, она уже проходима. Раз они ее выпустили. Что за остров, интересно? Ну, в крайнем случае, перезагрузимся. Так, это он, что ли? Он какой-то вообще беспонтовый. Пока что, видимо, какая-то задумка там что-то должна быть, но пока что как будто ничего и нет. Как мне нравится это спокойный ambient, или как это назвать, музыку эту. Типа прям одно из лучших сопровождений для таких игр. Прям очень уместное. А если я выплыву за границу, я, наверное, того откисну. Я могу плыть скрытно. Ну да, да, границы, ничего тут нет. Ладно, раз уж мы доплыли, обследуем по кругу. А что там дальше-то есть? Я могу еще и с той стороны попасть. Может быть, мне так и надо? Туда с той стороны сейчас при... Так, секундочку. Кошка опять принесла мне штучку. Вот, штучку бросили. Но я даже сюда не могу ступить. Немножко могу ступить. Ну, для пытливых исследователей. Блин, ну зачем создавать остров, на котором ничего нет? Вы чё? Для таких пытливых исследователей, как я, могли бы что-нибудь завести. Кстати, у нас же было быстрое перемещение, да? Нет? Да, нет, нет, да. Вроде было, но сейчас его нет. Вот на этом пляжу было. Я помню, что было. Там так и сказали, вы открыли быстрое перемещение. Ах, пропало. Я поставил себе цель, я реализовал ее. Вот поэтому люди любят игры с открытым миром. Они могут сами ставить себе цели. Какие-то, помимо того, что поставили разработчики. И в этом сила таких игр. Я играю, кошка сразу хочет играть. Ну не сразу, все-таки вечер, она не погуляла. Не знаю, стоит ли сюда плыть, но вот и узнаем. Как-то я вроде в город с той стороны был должен зайти, и вряд ли разработчики предусмотрели возможность того, что я с этой стороны как-то зайду. Ну это и не город, это типа какая-то деревенька. Давайте сохранимся на всякий случай. О, что там, труп какие-то уже сразу. Почему я выбраться-то не могу? Игра. О, сохранюсь, наверное. Вот, открыта новая локация. А, ну я не могу сюда перемещаться. Блин, это... Мне кажется, она совсем не рада, что ее мужа повесили. Все в порядке? Нет?
What? Are you here to gawk at the thief? Throw shit at him? Spit on his body? Well, I'll have to disappoint you. Cole didn't do it.
Она говорит, что он этого не делал.
You don't know? So you're not from around here? I have no idea what brought you to this shithole, but you have my sympathies. As you can see, a man can be hanged here for something he didn't do just because of who he is. All in the name of so-called justice.
Его повесили за то, что потому что он какой-то не такой.
They're pickled in their prejudices around here, so when their stuff started disappearing, it was easiest to cast the blame on outsiders. My husband paid the price.
Короче, оторвались на приезжих. Ну, блин. Суровая картина, конечно. Maybe you didn't know him that well. Может, я не знал такого хорошо. Давайте мы перейдем это последнее предложение, потому что я не до конца его понял. И здесь они застряли в своих предрассудках, поэтому, когда их вещи начали исчезать, проще всего было свалить вину на посторонних, и муж поплатился за это. Мне жаль.
Very nice of you, but it doesn't change a thing. How could they leave him swinging in this wind? Heartless sons of bitches. I can't leave him alone here. The seagulls will come soon. The keepers have no control over what's happening in this place. The quartermaster just buckled under the pressure of the accusation. They found their thief and dealt with him. Such an admirable efficiency in enforcing the law, but there was a problem. The following morning, there was another theft. Now what are they going to do?
Да, не говори. Нормально играть, то, что нам необходимо всем.
You haven't had much to do with other people lately, have you? I'm not sure if the captain even exists, and the quartermaster has buried his head in the sand. The villagers either think it's a conspiracy or they feel someone's made a terrible mistake. Thing is, no one ever admits to terrible mistakes. And we know the truth. Cole didn't do it.
Я поговорил с квартирмейстером и попросил его забрать, но я не говорил ни с кем. Я, наверное, сейчас что-то сломаю.
Well, looks like we share the same opinion about this place. Anyway, it's not like anything.
При этом я не могу с ней поговорить просто, нужно как-то присесть, чтобы маркер появился.
Oh, right. As for interesting thing about our wealthy guests was never their story. More often than not, they were boring people who loved talking about boring things. They thought gold makes everything more exciting, but what I found interesting were the fabrics that made the clothes they wore. Their origin and composition, the meticulous work of the weavers who turned a piece of fabric into something precious. I wanted to go to Timberwall, to become an apprentice in one of their guilds.
Так, она хочет вышивать. Я хотел отправиться в Timberwall, чтобы стать учеником в одной из этих гильдий вышивальщиков. А Кол?
Cole just wanted to get the hell out of there.
Он просто хотел убраться отсюда.
Any future for himself in Ree. Though I'm not sure if he saw one anywhere else either, but he wanted to try. I don't know what I'll do without him. All hope I had for a better life.
Да уж. И как жить после такого? Ты мне расскажешь о своих отношениях?
It wasn't a love match. I never wanted a husband, and Cole.
Они не хотели друг на друге жениться.
But we always got along, and we had a common
У них
goal.
была общая цель, и он был хорошим человеком.
Trust me when I said that my hope for a better life died with him. I wasn't just some young widow being dramatic. I really meant that. We always supported each other. He was my friend first and my husband second.
В общем, ее надежда на лучшую жизнь умерла вместе с ним. А Кол неплохо питался. Может, и правда подворовывал. Ну, в любом случае, вешает за такое человека. Так. А мы можем обойти с той стороны, можем обойти с той. Но, наверное, игра не готова к тому, что мы зайдем здесь. Я не хочу что-то оббегать. Давайте поболтаем с жителями деревни. Или порежем их на куски. Нет, все-таки поболтаем сначала. Я бы сделал погромче. Я бы сделал погромче. Поменьше музыку немножко. Погромче голоса.
Bloody hell. Look at this. The old place is in a shambles. Bunch of decrepit old coots. They do nothing but shuffle around, stare at walls, and sleep under leaking roofs. Can't even hammer a nail properly. I'm telling you, if I was still working here, this place wouldn't be falling apart. But I'm not. Oh, shite. I can't even stand to look at it, let alone live here. And who are you? What you want? You another one of Duras? What do you take me for? A senile old idiot? I know that my boy keeps sending all of you little pissants to snoop around his old man. Oh, how worried he must be. Boo-hoo. How did you all get it into your stupid heads that I am ill, huh? That's bullshit. Everyone's going on about how old Gabon's gonna keel over any time soon. And me? Still here, ain't I? Oh, I'm old enough to know what I'm talking about. I served my time. I've lived my life. And now you can all kiss my ass. I swear, each one's dumber than the last. Listen, they wanted Heaver, that healer from the keep, to come here. He did. They wanted him to look me out, then he just threw up his hands, mumbled something to himself, and that was it. Hell, I should have been an healer. Wouldn't mind going around being a pain in everyone's arse for a living. These herbs, no idea what they're for. Heber said he doesn't know what's wrong with me, so there's no illness. I'm fit as a fiddle. Good thing that at least the one guy who hangs around, Finley's the name, doesn't nag all the time. Yeah, right. He'd better focus on his job.
Так, я тут какие-то ему утверждения даю, которых я еще не могу знать. Ну, это ладно. В фильме «Твой опекун», ты отец Дара, расскажи мне о своей службе в Южных Рогах. Кари Гивер.
I'm not a cripple. I don't need a decrepit dimwit run. First of all, I'm not a cripple. I don't need a decrepit dimwit running around after me. Secondly, do you know the problem with having a helper who's mute? He doesn't bloody talk. I mean, it's not all bad. At least I don't have to listen to even more bullshit. He puffs up like a puffball every time he tries to say something, but I don't That's what he says anyway. But yeah, he's my blood. Eager like me, and look at that bulbous nose. Won't disown what's clearly mine. But I ain't gonna talk with a stranger. It's like half the blighters here don't have working peckers, or they've never even touched a woman. Why so nosy, eh? Bring me something, then maybe we...
Слишком много внимания. Я тебя покормил, а теперь уж нажать не границы. Так, он мне говорит, что-нибудь выпить ему принести. Давай, вискарик.
Now we can talk. I used to be a builder, the best one this side of Avalon. Hell, maybe even on this whole island. You see, back in the day, being a keeper was a serious business. Now, don't even get me started. You used to come here with a mission, not to run away from your bloody mother. Nowadays, lads get brought here by their own kin when they've had enough of them. Or they think the horns can hide them from the law. No, back in my day there was none of this scum. I came here to serve. My girl cried when I left her, but I've always known this is where I wanted to be. How was I supposed to know she had a bloody bun in the oven? By the time the wean was born, I was already planning the lighthouse's construction. Heck knows what he came here for. That's not my problem anymore, and I don't stick my nose in anyone else's business.
Не мой его помощник. Люди говорят, что у него старая болезнь, что ли. Возрастное заболевание. Так, в общем, они поссорились с сыном, и только сын, по идее, мне может рассказать, из-за чего ссора. Но нам, знаете, что нужно? Нам нужно обшмонать дом. Воздействовать, интеракт. Потому что мы же немножко вор, в конце концов. Ой, они все были голые. Это верно.
Who are you? Another refugee? This place is already crawling with your lot. It's like a Camelosian privy after a feast. In my day, you only saw old, familiar faces round here. And maybe we didn't all love each other. But a local is a local. It was easier to share with others, even when you didn't have much. That's so. Fine. Whatever you say. But yeah, I could see that you don't really look like one of them. Just pass them through then. Shame it had to be now. Not so long ago, we just sat down and had a drink with the rest of the lads. Now I come here alone. You asking me? They came here and made themselves at home. I ain't talking to any of them. I don't know, but you can put something on the table, and then maybe...
Это вы тоже вискариком, не давайте элем.
Thank you. We used to come here, the three of us. Me, Berg, and Fedley. But lately, something's gotten into Berg, and it all kinda fell. Hell knows what happened. One day he just stopped talking to us. We went to his house to get him, but he only cursed a blue streak at us. Say, mate, do you feel like talking to an old obla? I feel bad for him, but I've got no more patience. And Finley. Let's just say Finley's no good at this stuff. Now you're talking. Ever since he got so maudlin, Berg used to sit by the sea.
Excuse me, could you get me a clean glass? And I mean clean, not just wiped 3 times with a My name is Alyssa Murray, and I'm here with my husband, a very important cloth merchant. But surely you must have heard about our family. Not to brag, but we are rather prominent. And I am famed among Camelot's courtiers for throwing the most magnificent feasts. Thank you. I designed it myself. I wanted to blend in with the people of the South. Give it a few weeks and everyone here will be trying to copy me. It happens in Camelot all the time. It's almost insufferable. Well, my Duncan is here on business, of course. A very important contract with the Lightkeepers. I decided to accompany him because I have never been to the South, and I've heard so much about its wild, untamed beauty. Pray, tell me, do you know anyone here who would run a small errand for me? Oh, of course. You know, I've always found talking about money so distasteful. But needs must, I suppose. Don't worry, you'll be handsomely rewarded. Oh, nothing major. You see, I've had my eye on this beautiful abandoned estate overlooking the sea. It's not very far from here, but it's far enough away from all this rabble. If we stay here for a while, I need a place for myself. You understand that, right? No offense, but I can't keep living in a... When I asked the innkeeper to draw me a bath, he brought me a bucket. A bucket! Can you imagine? Finally, someone sympathetic to my plight. My Duncan has been heartless about it. He just keeps going on about how I was the one who wanted to come here. He told me to deal with it. Can you believe that? The nerve of the man. Well, what he doesn't know can't hurt him, can it? He should be glad that I can take care of myself. I'm not like the other high-born women, sitting around waiting to be handed everything on a silver platter. And besides, he knows better than to say no. Fine. The problem is that the manor appears to have some occupants, not legal ones, mind you, who need to be evicted. Forcibly, if there's no other way. You'll do it for me, won't you, dear? Splendid. I can't wait to start decorating. Maybe something nautical to go with the sound of the waves crashing on the cliffs? Or do you think that's a trifle trite?
В общем, в ее поместье поселились жильцы. Какие-то типа оккупанты, и нужно их выгнать. И насильственно, если придется. А еще она знатная особа. И почему-то здесь нельзя сохранять игру.
Hello, child. You look competent. I can see that you're not of noble blood. Oh, no need to tell me that. I have tutored the children of aristocrats from all over Avalon. Fortunately for you, my opinion of them is not particularly high. No, and you don't look like one of the locals. Are you a visitor? You can talk. Now, my name is Lady Elaine. I oversee the Farshire Library, the greatest collection of books in this part of Avalon. By the All-Mother, don't tell me you don't. The largest duchy in the middle of the island, with the wise Lady Kincaid in power. I know, child. I know. Everyone was surprised. Camelot turned up their noses at this for years. But after Lord Kincaid died and Aidan, Lady Kincaid's son, disappeared, the nobles of Farshire decided she could stay on the throne. Even if Aidan had been alive, she would still be ruling as a regent until he came of age. But between you and me, he wasn't a very bright boy. So she would have been ruling until her death anyway. Oh, we're lucky to have her. Difficult times require determined leaders. Worse than ever. Oh, the wordness is thickening, and the roads are getting dangerous and unpredictable. That's why I'm here, wandering Avalon looking for solutions. If I don't do this, who will? You're probably wondering what a feeble old lady who can't even lift a sword could possibly accomplish. But King Arthur didn't conquer Avalon just because he couldn't swing a blade. No, he had knowledge and enough wisdom to know how to use it. Lady Kincaid wasn't happy when she found out about this idea. But all mother's mercy, I am her tutor. She cannot dictate what I do, no matter her standing. Oh, do you mean a family? Oh, I've never had time for such trifles. No suitor was ever more interesting than a good book, nor did any of them smell better either. And I've raised enough of other people's children to never wish for my own. Oh, surprising. I'm looking for someone who will help me find a certain artifact. I came to the Horns of the South because I found a fascinating book. It referred to a certain object, a figure most likely, which has the ability to dispel the wordness like a menhir can. Apparently, it can be found on the ship called Andraste, which sank over 100 years ago somewhere in this area. However, when I asked those nincompoops about it, they just laughed at me. They said that the Andraste wasn't carrying anything of value, and even if it was, they wouldn't freeze their butts off in those chilly waters. The Last Voyage of the Andraste by Elvis the Lightkeeper. He was one of the more notable, but it's best if you read it yourself. You can read, can't you? Read it very carefully, and after you're done, come to me, and I'll tell you more. And they say young people don't want to learn anything. Come on, chop, chop, chop. And? Have you read? Oh, splendid, splendid. Oh, it's an excellent book, don't you think? Now, let's test your reading comprehension. According to Elvis the Lightkeeper, in the mine near the Horns of the South, they found something that they took with them on the ship. Do you remember? And you're telling me you've read it? By the All-Mother, it's like dearly. Come back when you've done. Have you? And? And come. And. That's right. This is the artifact I'm looking for. One that might be vital to repelling the word. According to Elvis's description, the figure is smaller than a menhir. Were it small, it would probably have been placed in Captain Lex's quarters instead of in the hold. Good. Now, what was the Ondra? And come. Good. Correct. Be very careful with what I'm about to tell you. But some believe that the Red Priests are dedicated to studying the wordness instead of the Red Death. Captain Lex must have thought they'd pay him generously for a Four-Dweller artifact. Last question. What sank the Andraste? Yes, you did well, child. I can see that you were paying attention. Elvis, the Andraste was sunk by the legend. But if you want to know more, ask your keeper friends. They should be much better. Now, all you need to do is find the wreck of the Andraste and... Oh, if only I knew. It must have happened somewhere on the way between the Horns of the South and the Island Asylum. In the Horns of the South Museum, there are some extremely interesting books and documents lying around and collecting dust. Can you imagine having such treasures at hand and choosing to completely ignore them? Oh, among them, you'll find the Andraste's logbook, which was saved by Elvis. I've read it, of course, but I know nothing about sailing. I'm sure such a competent child as yours. Go to the Horns of the South Museum, read the logbook, and then tell me whether you managed to locate the wreck of...
Beer from Connacht, wine from Farshire, moonshine, only local, the best there is, and fish. Stale fish? Yeah. Look around. You're in the capital of fresh fish. Unless you're buying from Heffen. I can't vouch for him. Here though, take your pick. All today's catch. You mean the old pier? Well, first of all, it's not that old. It was built when Brandon was already... Why is it called that? Don't know. Probably because of all a lot has been happening here lately. Plenty of new faces. I definitely can't complain. I'm finally running a proper tavern. People come and go, and the regulars drink as usual, as it should be. Hey, not here, obviously. You won't see your old man here unless your name's Dra. Might sent me here because he hoped I'd make something out of my life. He never wanted me to pour a beer and look at the same tired mugs day in, day out, but as it turns out, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. I was bored out of my mind, and since there wasn't one here, I decided to start a tavern. At least I'm not as bored anymore.
Buy something or bugger off. Unless you've already bought from Orleath. Then just bugger. Pursue potential customers. Listen here, pal. Clearly you don't understand how trading works in a place like this. I've no idea where you come from, but here it's the potential customer who needs to pursue the vendor. And that vendor will either sell them their goods or not. It's the vendor who makes the decision, not the other way around. How many people here do you think are offering to exchange goods for coins? I'll tell you, not bloody many. Yeah, Orleath, a woman merchant from the keep. Go on, try giving her your money. I bet she'll just shortchange you and call it a day. I do say so. So, are you buying, or are you just gonna stand there talking shit? I wouldn't mind knowing myself. She stole a lucrative business contract from under me and my family, then made herself at home here. Damn, everyone's always yammering about Timberwall. Timber this, timber that. Bugger them all. Remember, good business, only with Quanacht. Fair prices, no bullshit. I just told you, a business contract. It's an agreement. Two sides. One sells, the other... Sometimes you can also exchange material goods. But anyway, it fell through. The captain'd rather deal with that woman. Good riddance to him. It's all water under the bridge now. Yes, Connacht. From a merchant family, to be specific. Though I've always wanted to be a cartographer, to chart the uncharted. But I broke my leg, badly enough that I couldn't travel anymore. So while the rest of the family was traveling the world, I had to sit on my ass looking after the books. It was driving me crazy. That wasn't what I wanted from life. When that contract I told you about fell through, I stayed here for a bit. Lost track of time. My brother got worried, so he came looking for me. I told him I'm not going back empty-handed. So he just looked around and said we might as well do business here then. He helped me set up the shop, then left for home. Long enough to know what sells. Not that I'd mind having a wider selection of goods, you know. Some more options on offer. But people here don't need much, so what you see is all I have. Then there's the refugees. For now, I guess they're good business. But long term, doubt it. Sooner or later they'll run out of money. They don't have any way to earn it since no one wants them here. They'll either get kicked out or leave and not come back. But there will be others to keep the business running, more or less. Here, if you're talking about the keep, about the village, then it's me, obviously. When fish won't bite, you buy them at Heffen's. That's me. When the tavern runs out of liquor, you buy it at Heffen's. That's me. When you have some stuff to sell, who do you sell it to? Very bloody funny. Buying
Guess he's got nobody else to get pissed with. Finley never liked drinking alone with him. Titan tends to get into one of his moods. You're bothering me just because that old rascal is sitting alone in the inn with nobody to natter to?
Добрейший вечерочек. Да вроде никого, я так спокойненько играю, без комментариев. Много текста переводить и читать, и говорить что-то нету ни сил, ни желания. Поэтому так, если интересно, посматривай. Но динамичных комментариев не будет.
Medicine for my father. Let me through.
Sure. Show me the pass and you can go.
Damn it, Tiernan. I don't have time for this.
I understand, but I can't let you through without a pass. Ask the captain to give you one.
Bloody hell, Tiernan. The captain's... This is a matter of life and death. Come on, be a human here.
Not without a pass. I've got my orders.
What a nonce. Screw you, Tiernan.
If you want to enter the village, I need to see you. Nice of you to ask. I'm Tiernan. I check passes to make sure that only authorized folks get through. I'm keeping order, and since I'm doing it right, some people think I'm here to make their lives harder. But I'm happy when everyone can have some peace and quiet. Me and the quartermaster, we've got a good system going. He tells me what to do, I do it, and everyone's happy. I'd like to, but I have an order from the captain not to let anyone through without a pass. Not after what happened to Corbin. 3 years ago, he was the one checking passes, and there was a guy called Fat Thorbin who was a raging son of a bitch. He was forced into retirement, and he didn't like that one bit. The only reason he didn't get thrown in jail was his age. One day he got sloshed and forced Corbin to let him through. Then he charged at the captain with a sword, but was stopped by some keepers. Unfortunately, one of them was stabbed. Poor lad bled. He was so guilt-ridden about the fellow who died that he hung himself using his own belt. And since that day, nobody... Maybe, but I don't want to dwell on it anymore. What isn't happening? The captain made us take in northern refugees. That soured everyone's mood. People are anxious now and constantly at each other's throats for a while ago. Old Tagden picked a fight with one of the new guys. The guards had to split them up before they killed each other. But it's not like we only get the ragged and the desperate. We also have some highborn visitors. The old lady Elaine and young Elisa with her husband. What else? Oh, old Gaban's health took a turn for the worst, so his son's worried. They've been at each other's throats for years, but now that the father's sick, the son's grown a conscience. Well, that's pretty much... Gaban is the old builder. He used to be the chief builder, but he got old and the title went to his son. He's not doing so well lately. His hands shake all the time, his skin has turned all yellow, and he keeps puking his guts out. Our physician has no idea what's wrong with him. The old man's treating himself like he always has, with booze. So I don't think he'll be getting better anytime soon. A while ago, a group of those poor sods came here because... the villagers are worried about thievery, or that the refugees might have brought some kind of plague with them. Some are mistrustful, but it's no wonder, is it? Others, well, you know how it is. More people means less space and less comfort. Anyway, I don't have a problem with them. As long as they stick to our rules, I'm sure we can live together peacefully. Thank you. You can go. I only know I'm to let through anyone who shows me one of those, so I'm guessing it's a serious piece of metal. The quartermaster didn't look like he was in the mood to explain any details.
Who's there? Oh, you're my new worker. You don't look like one. And with arms like these, you couldn't even lift the tiniest of it. Who set you up for this? He did, didn't he? When that idiot gets an order, he's like a priest who stumbled upon an orgy. He's got a stick up his ass. Nothing gets through to him. Yeah, he used to serve too. He was the builder before me. Now he's just an old fart angry at the world. But a father is a father, right? We may hate each other, but as long as I can help him, I will. Hence the medicine. Looks like it. Not that he'll ever admit it. Stubborn bastard. Our healer doesn't know what to do. Hey, you're heading to the village, right? Take this medicine to my father, will you? Goban is a loud man. You shouldn't have trouble finding. I can't promise that talking to him will be any fun. Come, and you, Tiernan, can eat a dick. That's no secret. He's just an old, bitter man who hates the entire world, and I'm part of it, so, well, it is what it is. That's all. I asked Tiber a few times if he could try to reduce the symptoms of whatever Goban has. Every time it ended the same way. Broken glass, flailing at each other, and poor Finley, stressed as a chicken, trying to calm the whole quarrel down. But if I can't talk my father down, the mute fella had an even worse time of it. You really care about this? Don't you have better things to do with your time? Your choice. Nobody's gone. Goban was the chief builder here in the Horns for years. I found him, enlisted, and tried to get to know the man. I learned the trade, and I got pretty damn good at it. Then, one day, he made a mistake. It was an accident that nearly killed him. He lost his position, and since he's a proud man, he couldn't admit that he was wrong. He had to blame me for it, said it was all my fault. But I wanted to take his title from him, and so on and so forth, as if I cared about rebuilding the damned lighthouse. The truth is, Goban was completely sloshed that day. Couldn't even stand on his own 2 feet. But he couldn't admit that he messed up, so he put the blame on me. I never wanted to be a builder. I tried to reason with him, but he wouldn't listen. And now, years later, here we are. It's a waste of time, but I won't stop you. Sometimes I feel like getting mad is the only thing that keeps that bastard alive.
Do you need help settling in, dear? This isn't the best day to start a new life in this place, but we don't always get to choose. What a nasty business with that boy. I'm almost glad my Morris isn't here for this. He's such a bleeding heart. first, it wasn't so bad, but now it gets worse every day. We just sit here doing nothing. Don't get me wrong, we have food, we have a roof over our heads, and we're grateful for that. But no one trusts us enough to let us do any work. None of us wants to be a freeloader, as they call us. I wouldn't mind a task or two to earn my keep and to take my mind off my troubles. I might not be all hale and hearty, but I've still got 2 good hands, which is more than you can say about some of the codgers living here. I'm sorry, dear. I hope I didn't offend you. I'm still not used to all this. You see, I was born in Little Grove and thought I would live out the rest of my life there, working in the orchards in the mornings and drinking warm cider with my beloved in the evenings. We never wanted to see the world. I guess sometimes the world doesn't give us a choice. That's what people say, but I never agreed. I weathered many storms with my Morris, coming out stronger each time. Avalon taught us to cherish the little joys of our everyday life. Without those lessons, we wouldn't have survived what happened to our village. Little Grove was raided by bandits, a local gang that had been terrorising the area for months, growing in numbers with each raid. Their leader, Bald Kate they called her, somehow got hold of a branding iron used to mark outlaws. After pillaging a village, she'd brand some men and women of her choosing. That way, Kate made sure nobody would ever help them, and that they'd have no choice but to turn to her if they wanted to survive. My Morris used to be a skilled tanner. I guess that's why she picked him. But we decided to try our luck elsewhere. I don't know. The keeper at the gate turned Morris away because of the brand on his face. I would have left with him, but I was sick and exhausted from the journey, so I promised to join him when I got better. Except now, I've no idea where... No, he only promised that he'd find somewhere safe, but I'm not sure if there is any such place left in the sun. Oh, Mother, bless you, my dear. That's all I could ask for. Please.
I've already told you I'm not going anywhere. If you want some... Oh. I don't know you. I'm Dugald. You're not... You could have chosen a better moment to come here. Kinda poor ambience, if you know what I mean. Well, at least we have a room. My boy Frank and I came here with the others. We left our village because... we had to. Well, I had to. But Frank is a good lad, so he came with me. I took him in, you know. Found the poor sod at the mill, sleeping in the hay. He was chilled to the bone back then, but I could already tell he was a strong and bright lad. He used to help out on the farm. He's young, but he already has a couple of tattoos. Tribal ones. Means he must have been cast... At first, the people in our village were all giving him dirty looks. But then, they realized he wasn't a bandit. He was a good, hard-working kid. Then they started to treat him as one of their own. Ah, Frank is a quiet boy, and he doesn't talk much about himself. I feel like those days with the Reader are long buried for him. Almost like he never lived them. To be honest, I'm a bit confused about what's going on. Usually it was me who yelled at everyone, and now I feel like a drudge. Let me tell you something. When I saw all these wrinklies around here, I thought this place would suit me. But then all this shit happened. I suspect we won't stay here long. Roscree. Few shacks and a small field of grain. I was a miller back there. My daughter married a good, hard-working man. Eventually, I gave them the mill. Still helped around, but wanted to let the young folks learn how to work there. Then this kid, Frank, came. Everything seemed to be pretty good. Of course, something happened. Life here can't just be bearable. Oh no. Everything has to get screwed up somehow. That's the way it goes in this cursed land. My dear Trina and her bairn. They got caught by a weird beast. I started to hit the bottle and... finally, my son-in-law kicked me out. I left Roscree. And so did Frank. He says he has some kind of life debt, and he won't leave me alone until one of us drops. I'm sorry.
Time for another hanging. What? You had me there. I like you already. Such a mess, isn't it? Cola's all right, and Beatrice, what a shame. Such a fine girl. Anyway, I'm Ellis. Nice to meet you. You want to help? That's nice. Probably won't change a thing, though. I mean, I'm not trying to discourage you, but it's like this. Those geezers and the keepers, I know that look. They're afraid, and they have no idea what's happening around them. Something tells me they'll all be at each other's throats sooner or later. And then, it'll be a bloodbath. Well, maybe that's going a bit too far, but I don't think we're ever gonna get along. There's this one guy in the village. Tad... That guy is a piece of... No, I'm not gonna finish that thought, or else I'd have to insult someone. You know... Taggan is a real piece of shit. He looks at us like we snatched his mother, burned down his house, and ate all his cows, I swear to you. One time, I went to the tavern and had a few gold coins to spare, so I decided, why not? I'll have a drink. Taggan was already tipsy, drinking with some other geezer. I came in. He stopped singing. Just stared at me. So I sat down in the corner, not wanting to make any trouble. I was sipping my beer. Then suddenly, Taggan came up to me. He spat into my tankard and went back to his table. That was very rude. I wouldn't do that to my worst enemy. Well, I'm Ellis. Goldsmithing is my life and passion. And between you and me, I feel like I'm losing my mind without it. When I hold tools and make beautiful things, it feels like I can bring some light into this wretched world. I wish I was somewhere where I could just do some goldsmithing. So, here I am, sitting on my ass in some village listening to waves and the screams of seagulls and old men. Nothing to write home about, even if I still had one. I was working as a goldsmith in a group of, let's call them business people. I was once traveling with a caravan that got attacked by him. Their chief was a smart guy. The moment he heard I was a goldsmith, he knew what to do with me. He got me converting all the jewelry they stole into new pieces. Do you want to hear what I did want? Ah, come on. They were just people. They treated me well and respected my work. Everyone thinks that every bandit is a heartless murderer. We went to Timberwall. The gang wanted to rob some merchant's house. We holed up in a seedy tavern and waited for the right moment. Then, one night they broke in. Came back with a whole load of trinkets. Beautiful stuff. The moment I saw it all, I instantly knew what I wanted to craft. They gave me a couple of days. I tinkered for a bit, and then, ta-da! Brand new merchandise. After I was finished, I dressed myself all nice. Went to that merchant's house and went, "Good morning, kind sir. I'm a goldsmith. My work is renowned in all of Camelot. Would you be interested in what I have to offer?" You know what he said? Of course I would. That nonce bought the entire lot, even though I inflated the prices like a street peddler. And when I came back, the others couldn't believe their eyes. I thought I was gonna keel over. I miss that.
Something happened. I'm not from anywhere. Frang is attached to nowhere. I found a home with Dugald. I owe him a life debt. Frang was never a Riada. There is no Riada without a name. Without a name, you are nobody in the tribe. Like me. And if nothing happened to Frang. A stray taken in by a miller. Frang cannot be a dull Riada. His mother was. But the tribe decided that he was not worthy of a name. That is why he's... Conquer. Wolf. Strong. Important name. A place without a leader. As I see it, I will finally fall apart. What? There are no tales about a place that survived without a strong leadership, and it's not about kings, nobleshites, or chieftains. Titles are just words that pull the wool over a man's eyes. What's needed is a strong soul with a strong name. And their names mean as much as Frang's, which is to say... Now they're a bit like Frang. Strays with no home, but 3 strong, despite what happened with Cole. Alice, he's funny. I like him. Rawson, nothing about her. And Dugald, don't bother. Frang never met the Keeper, but the unnamed boy did. Once, a few of them, many years ago, we fought. The unnamed boy survived even though he showed fear. Keepers approached the camp of the boy's people. But that past does not belong to Frang. I'm Frang.
This place is creepy as shite. How much longer do we have to wait to take down that damn noose?
4 days.
I will bleed you.
Give up now! I'll take you down with me! You survived that? Is that supposed to hurt? Stay sharp. Stay focused. This is how it's done. Your money or your life. You're only making me angrier.
Так. Включу микрофончик. Я решил идти через главные ворота, потому что я что-то вот здесь обошел, доплыл до деревни. И я не знаю, насколько... Вроде как разработчики это предусмотрели, но мне кажется, там один квест сломался. В общем, меня изначально выбросил на берег вот здесь справа. Я должен был, по идее, пройти и типа дойти до города. И, собственно, я вот сейчас так и собираюсь. Ну, не сейчас, а уже в следующую игровую сессию. Попроходил, немножко покачался, побивал бандитиков, попродавал вещи. И вот буду проходить в город. И, наверное, тут будет основной квест начинать уже вникать, что там будет происходить. Вот. Играю практически без микрофона, потому что игра на английском. Утомляюсь. Что-то говорить, переводить. Просто хочется поиграть. Расслабиться, насколько это возможно. Ну, а сегодня все. Всем спасибо за просмотр. Увидимся в следующих сериях. Буду проходить эту игру. Ну и все. Ну, ее буду проходить. Не знаю, вся ли эта карта. Может быть вся, может быть не вся. Вот. Ну, в общем, буду проходить эту игру. И приходите на стримы. Все, всем пока.